Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 99 for the 2nd of June. So I didn't prepare a joke for today. So yeah, so just press the like button. Just press it. I know you want to. I know you're feeling very itchy now, right? Your fingers have this urge to just touch that like button. I know you can feel it. So anyway, back to the summary. So let's start off with of course, usually we'll start off with missile strikes, but there isn't. Okay, there is one. Okay, there's a missile strike on the bridge at Trikati. Trikati is actually this town here, and there is actually a railway bridge here, and there is this video taken from around this area of this bridge burning. So this is actually a railway bridge. So perhaps this is actually to prevent reinforcement or resupply to Mykolaiv. Not sure though how effective was this strike. But there is a strike there. So I can't really put this as a cross yet because unless we have report to show that the bridge is actually disabled or at least the trains are unable to cross it. So that's the missile strike at Mykolaiv. There is also a video footage of the strike at Zatoka. So let me see if I can pull it out. So this is the Zatoka Bridge, the world's most hated bridge, and check out that explosion. It's extremely massive. The strike, I can see as the human being will probably just one dot here. That's how small a human probably would be, and the explosion is like massive. But the structure still seems to stand. So not sure how effective is that. Other than the video that the photos that we have saw, which is basically one hole at the railway line there. So I personally, I'm not too sure what things strike that bridge. Is it sabotage? People plant bombs, or is it a missile strike? So I'm not sure. So moving all the way to the northern part, where we are covering all the cross-border shelling. So a lot of reported shelling here. So there is reported shelling at Leonivka. Is this new or old information? At Bakhmut, at Hlukhiv. Hlukhiv seems to be the old one. At Kodine, Stukalivka, Bilopide. Okay, I think I mixed up some of the old ones with the new ones. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't really mean a lot anyway. Slavhorod. So basically, the whole idea is simply to keep track, that there is continuous shelling at the border, and that might be a precursor to a possible invasion. However, the report that I mentioned yesterday of the fighting at Katerinivka near to Hlukhiv is invalidated because Euromaidan PR, this Twitter account, is the only one that mentioned about this, and so I reported this information first time when I first saw it. However, the battle is underway and details later never came. The details never came out from this Twitter account. So I have to invalidate this entire information because no one else is talking about this. Like literally no one else. DPA is the only one that is really reporting on this tweet from Euromaidan. And unfortunately, this information seems to be fake news. So anyway, I still benefit from it. DPA still benefit from it from content. We still get content, but unfortunately, this is fake content. But I did create a quick video, a quick update to tell everyone that that's actually wrong. So which is also content. So so DPA actually benefiting from all this, regardless. So moving to the southern front. At the southern front, this fighting at Snihurivka didn't seem to continue. So the previous report was that it was unsuccessful. and there is no continued fighting at Snihurivka. The entire offense had failed. Similarly, there is no more offense in this area at Davydiv Bridge. For those people that have been asking about what's the latest update on in Kherson or in Mykolaiv region or of this offensive, because on Twitter this offensive seems to still exist. However, at Defense Politics Asia, at DPA here, I insist that this attack has already totally been thwarted and is the end. There is no more Ukrainian troops within this area. They have all retreated across to the western side of this river, and there is no more offensive. That's the end of the episode. So so you can take my word for it. Unless we got the next report, oh, the Ukrainian forces have captured Berislav, then I can go and slap myself. But however, as far as my understanding go, there is no more things here. I'm not sure if okay, anyway, there's a one Sukhoi 25 shot down over Lyubomirivka, and so there's one, this Sukhoi 25, another one that's got shot down. Talking about shooting down of aircraft, do you notice that I haven't been reporting any shot down of Bayraktar TB-2 for some time, for at least few days already, and there's probably only once if you take account for the probable past 1 or 2 weeks. I think the entire supply of Bayraktar TB-2 has been exhausted. That's the kind of feeling that I get. And I got a feeling also that the Ukraine do not have any more money to buy it from Turkey, because Turkey is actually quite I'm not even sure what's the right word for it. Very business-like. They probably wants money for their Bayraktar TB-2, and the Ukrainians probably have run out of money to buy it, and there is no more supply of the aircraft. Or it could be the other way, that the Ukrainians decided that Bayraktar TB-2 no longer can do the job and they don't want to buy. That could also be a reason. But as far as I can tell, there is no more reports seemingly of Bayraktar TB-2 in Ukraine. That seems to be the case. So all these human being icons here are possible Ukrainian positions because they were previously monitored by Russian forces in this region, and ironically reported by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine themselves. However, there seems to be nothing else around here. And just to note, for if you are new to the channel, I do not report on artillery shellings of on the front lines, because there is shelling every day, and it is impossible and probably very misleading to report it. So there is artillery battles and artillery shelling all across the entire front line all the time. So just to take note on that. The only difference is that I report on the one at the at the border, because this could be a indication of a possible operation. If not, I usually don't report on the artillery shelling. So hope you are aware of that if you are new to the channel. And the Zaporizhzhia Line, there is fighting reported at Potavka. So this coming from the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, which comes out in this sentence, which is very vague, because they say that individual units and sabotage reconnaissance group, basically recce unit, if you know what is that, or vanguards or whatever you want to call it, have tried to engage. So it's either you engage or you don't. You don't try to engage. Try to engage can also mean you didn't engage. So anyway, they tried to fight, and they conducted assault operation near Krasnohorivka and Potavka. And I assessed the Potavka is actually this one, Potavka. And Krasnohorivka is misleading because there is a lot of Krasnohorivka everywhere. I suspect it's this one here at Krasnohorivka. So, and I find this kind of statement very confusing because there is actually no clear indication which oblast these locations are. So this is a very bad statement, or very bad way to write information by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. But of course, they are only writing the reports for the entertainment of the pro-Ukrainian crowd. Sometimes the information is just nonsensical. Sometimes. So there is on the Donetsk front, there is a capture of Zolote Niva by the Ukrainian forces. So this is reported by Defmon 3. So Defmon 3 is one of this I think pro-Ukrainian and crowd, the analyst that is reporting on this war. Otherwise, there is no really other changes in terms of the front line. Even all this fighting, I'm not even sure how fierce is the fighting. So that's that. I didn't mention in terms of the Azovstal area in Mariupol, there was their discovery of some Ukrainian soldiers that did not surrender a few days ago. Just thought I should mention about it. And they were, I think, captured or surrendered. I'm not sure what happened, and I'm not sure why they didn't surrender previously. So probably they are the neo-Nazis, neo-Nazis actually. Neo-Nazis is my nickname for them. So probably that's why they try not to surrender, but they can't really live much longer around there. And in Mariupol also there is this award ceremony held by the leader of the Donetsk People's Republic, awarding medals and awards to the people that fought there. So but that's unimportant to the front line in terms of the strategic picture, so I did not really indicate anything there. North of Avdiivka, there's actually no updates or clear information. The Ukrainian Ministry of Defense say there's actually no offensive operation around here. The Russians say that the offensive from Avdiivka towards Yasnuvata has been stopped, and then there's no more offensive. So maybe everybody's tired. They are all off drinking vodka. All the way to the Bakhmut Front, there is fighting reported at Dolomitne, and the way how the Russian analysts report this seems like the village of Dolomitnoye, which is Dolomitne, has not been captured yet. So previously I reported that this is captured. So very conflicting, and I'm not sure if this is even a village. This looked really like a concentration camp to me. I have no idea. Oh, there is some defensive position, see? Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. Could this be a previous Nazi concentration camp? I have no idea. It looks nothing like a village to me. There is some cars. So could this even be a military camp? It looks like a barracks also. So anyway, there is fighting in this village. So stay tuned. I might actually correct this as uncaptured by the Russians if this goes on for too long. Luhansk still is not captured. So the Ukrainian troops that are here really try to hold on. And the fighting here is actually coming from the south. So this is actually the defense line, the proper entrenchment by the Ukrainians. So probably which is why they're having it so hard, because they are not fighting from behind. And I thought the Russians will be attacking from here, down south. And apparently the reason why they have not done that was because there is fighting reported at Zaporizhzhia thermal power plant. So the Donetsk People's Republic militia is trying to dislodge the Ukrainian units in the area of this power plant. And this invalidated previous information that the Russians have captured this power plant. So I'm quite annoyed, actually, to be honest, that the pro-Russian sources or whoever previously mentioned that this power plant is captured by the Russian forces, and then that makes the entire situation a bit weird, because why didn't the Russian forces actually push out from this power plant area down south to Luhansk or to Semihirska or Semihir, but so apparently there is in fact Ukrainian forces are entrenched in this region and blocking the offense. So yeah, but that's the nature of intelligence. That's the nature of intel gathering or information gathering. Information tend to get invalidated over time sometimes. if they are wrong. And this is the situation we are facing here, around the Severodonetsk front line here. There is no more information about the fighting at Bakhmut as well, so who knows, this might actually be wrong as well. No updates regarding all this area. They are still definitely fighting still at Yakovlivka, at Rostov, at Bilohorivka, at Nervkov, as well as Vrubivka. The Ukrainian positions around here continues to hold strong and keeping this bear pig face alive. However, he's starting to grow some hair behind because the Russian forces have captured Komishuvaka. However, this is not really a very stable capture because the Ukrainian forces retreated into this forest area, and this forest area is still not cleared, which means that the Ukrainian forces can anytime re-enter the village and cause this capture to become uncaptured. So take this with some salt, or some say in the comments soya sauce. So use some soya sauce. And there's also someone say the Asians don't really like salt that much. We prefer MSG, so you can take some MSG. So but in terms of progress, the Russian forces went along this road into the outskirts of Zolote. So this is Zolote. If you are new and you haven't heard me say this before, Zolote is not a congruent city. It's not like Herske. It's not one city. It's actually a series of villages. They are numbered Zolote 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And prior to the start of this war, the Donbas forces, Luhansk and Donetsk Republic, only have number 5, Zolote 5, which is the village name is also known as Mariupol. Other Zolote, other part of Zolote is actually Ukrainian, and they are heavily entrenched. This is a strong defense line by the Ukrainians, and this attack from the west is actually fighting into the rear of this defense line. So that's why the offensive might actually be concentrated on this area to push into Zolote, and we shall see later in the next few days how far can the Russian forces go from the west side of Zolote, because this is supposed to be from the rear. So let's see how they go. Interestingly is that despite all these villages, there is another village here. However, there is actually no name for this village. Not sure is this part of 3 or is this part of 1. So we shall see as this goes on. There is no more updates in terms of this area here. So we are now officially into Luhansk front. At the Luhansk front here, there is this correction to this front line around Merna Dolina. So previously the report I have was that the Merna Dolina was captured by the Russian forces, and this report was quite old already. It has been 2-3 weeks. Apparently that information is wrong. That is false. There is a fake information. There is a wrong information. So the latest information that we had in my previous report was that the Ukrainian forces was pushed out of the forest at Merna Dolina, and in the YouTube comment, someone mentioned that Dolina actually means valley. So that's very interesting. So anyway, this forest here is actually a valley. So I'm not sure am I interpreting this correctly, but anyway, I'm now assuming that the Ukrainian forces that was pushed out of the forest is not this forest, but actually this forest. Because if this forest is the correct information, then the next information that came out that Russian forces is now attacking Merna Dolina, then would makes more sense, because you first clear them out of the forest, then you enter Merna Dolina. So this is likely to be the situation. They are still fighting for Ustinivka. And previously, if you missed the previous summary, I have moved the border back at Bobrov to correct this information that Bobrov is likely to still be under Ukrainian control, because the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense say that the Russians are storming the settlement of Bobrov. So that caused this invalidation of the previous report that Bobrov is actually captured by the Russian forces. And I also added Borivke into this situation here. I pushed back the front line as well for Borivke, because too many reports are saying that the Russians are actually attacking Borivke, and I have to push the border back to correct this information. Around 1-2 weeks ago or more, I'm not sure, Borivke was actually reported to be captured by the Russians. However, this information seems to be wrong, and this might also extend to Noronov as well as Mykolaiv, because there is also conflicted information about these two suburbs, these two towns that is outside of Severodonetsk. This is very confusing, so do take a lot of salt, be very salty about all these things. This information is really very complicated now. This seems to be the trend in these few days, where the pro-Russian sources and pro-Ukrainian sources start to clash a lot. The information start to not match in a lot of places. So these are just some of them, but there are fighting reported at Sirotine, as Sirotine, as well as Lisna Dachat. So in terms of the front line at Severodonetsk, there is no more war reporting on the ground, probably because the fighting have flared up, and the war reporters have to evacuate maybe the frontline regions, because according to the pro-Russian source, the map actually looks like this. Oops, wrong. The map actually looks like this from their point of view. So this part is actually Russian control. This part is Russian control, and this part is Ukrainian control, including this part and this part. So this is the front line according to the Russian sources, which I probably think is correct, because I don't think the Ukrainians will hold up in this place, in this location, nor in this location. Just that I did not move my border in this way because I wanted photo and video evidence of the Russians on the ground. So which is why it still look like these fingers holding this fish ball around here. And so that's it for the Severodonetsk, and let's wait to see if we're gonna have any more donuts information from Severodonetsk or Severodonetsk. Donuts sounds more funny. So that's it for the Luhansk front. At the Izyum front, there is a reports that Shushrov has been captured by the Russian forces, and that actually concludes this entire territory along the river to be all under Russian control of the Severodonetsk River. So now the fighting is at Raihorodok, and not much other information about Raihorodok other than the Ukrainian Defense Ministry seems to have acknowledged that the fighting is now over there, which is here. Yeah? Enemy engaged in combat operations in the vicinity of Raihorodok settlement. So further up north, there is this dispute of information of the Ministry of from the Ministry of Defense that Yarova is actually still fighting, and they also mentioned about Studenok. So a bit kind of weird, but confirmation is that fighting does indeed have reached Severodonetsk. So the Russian sources mentioned that they are actually going through Bohorodashny, going for Sidorov. So according to the Russian sources, the intention is actually to close and encircle the forces around here at Severodonetsk, as well as in the high grounds around here. So the one very clear high ground is actually at Priceship. There's this hilly area and mountain area here. So, and this is also, I think, is a elevated location as well around here. So, but we shall see, because this might be the analyst saying what he thinks is happening. There's fighting at Dolina as well. So the forces fighting at Dovhenke has also moved down the road and now took on this entrenched position of the Ukrainians at Dolina. So no other information about this other than fighting is over there. There's fighting at Dubrovnik. So otherwise, the rest of the front is actually more quiet in terms of no changes in terms of front line. Moving on to the Kharkiv Front. At the Kharkiv Front, reports says that the Ukrainian forces have captured Vesely as well as Malay Vesely. I have mentioned in my quick update that this sounds like Vesel, and this is the male Vesel. So this is like the female Vesel. So they are a couple, I guess. And the Ukrainian forces around this couple is now moving towards Ternova. However, on the Russian sources, they say that the Russian forces is now fighting for Shetakov as well as Fedorivka. And to fight for these two locations mean that Peremoha is actually captured by the Russian forces, because you have to capture this point before you can actually move on to these two towns. However, Ukraine map, the other mapper that is actually mapping the war, call his contacts saying and actually confirm on his side that the Ukrainians still controls Shetakov, Fedorivka, and Peremoha. So this information is actually currently disputed. So we will leave it as such and wait for the next few days to see if the Ukraine map's contact is accurate, or is it the Russian sources is actually accurate about this part of the front line. According to the Russian sources, there are reinforcements reaching Komtilia across the river. They are sending more reinforcement to gather a force to do an offensive from Komtilia, and there is also reinforcement arriving at Stary Saltiv. The forces that are coming to Stary Saltiv is actually foreign fighters and foreign instructors. So not sure what they're going to do around here. Who knows, they might actually cross over to Zarishny. There is also reported reinforcement arriving at Udi. So the reinforcement here are armored units. They say tank units. So probably preparing for offensive towards Kozacha Lopan. Or perhaps to retake Sosnivka, should Sosnivka actually be captured by the Russian forces, because after the initial information from the Russian sources that there is this attack on Sosnivka and the Ukrainian forces reportedly have retreated from the village, we did not receive any information to suggest the capture of Sosnivka. So assuming that this is captured, then this reinforcement here does make sense to recapture Sosnivka. Currently, we do not have confirmation about the capture of Sosnivka yet. So we shall wait and see what will come out next. So this is the summary for the day of 99, right? 99, and you can actually see the difference between the Russian sources and Ukrainian sources. They are very different sometimes, and they can contradict each other very badly. And sometimes also when you look at the sources, the Russian sources, can say, about Ukrainian units, suffered losses and they already retreated, and they expect the readers to assume that the location have already been captured by the Russian forces. The same thing happened, here at Peremogha, because the previous information from the Russian sources was that the Ukrainian forces had retreated from Peremogha, and we have to assume that this is actually now under Russian control, which is why the next step was fighting at Shetakov and Fedorivka. So this is it, but this is not acknowledged by the Ukrainian side. Neither was this. If we were to believe in terms of the Russian sources, the Ukrainians have already retreated largely to the Hachi, Lisne, and Sekuni, largely, because the Ukrainians have retreated mostly from around this region because of they were defeated in battle, especially like in Ruski Tishki. But then the Ukrainians actually captured Vesel and Mali Vesel. So it's a very confusing situation here in the Kharkiv front. So we have to take note on the information coming out from both sides so that we can have a clearer picture of what is actually happening all around the fronts, not just in Kharkiv. So these few days has been really confusing because of a lot of conflicting information. So we have to just take a pinch of salt from both sides and let's see what is the actual information. But what I'm sure is that this side is gone. This offensive is entirely finished. It's more towards the front line around here as well as around here. So this is the summary for the day of 99 for 2nd of June. We are now in the middle of 3rd June now. In fact, in Singapore, we are now at the very end of 3rd June. So which is day 100. So it has been 100 days of war, and it's not a good thing. People are dying, and many people is dying for nothing. But anyway, hopefully the war can end quickly. If not, then I will just earn more money from it, and then I will just go to the temple to pray and thank for the blood money. But that helps Defense Politics Asia to grow, and with the additional fundings, with your support, we can actually cover more front lines. And perhaps, for example, now Turkey is now fighting in Syria again, and of course their operation in northern Iraq is a question mark for me because I didn't really monitor seriously. And of course there is also the situation in Myanmar, which I have yet to find the time to actually do this overall picture of what is happening in Myanmar now. So, and then of course we have the geopolitical situation all across the world, seriously in flux because of the lack of leadership from United States. And of course this entire conflict have destabilized the entire world economy. Sri Lanka is technically failed state situation now, very close to failed state, and Pakistan is in turmoil because of they overthrew their wildly popular Prime Minister Imran Khan. Azerbaijan is feeling itchy, and the situation in Afghanistan might flare up again because United States is feeling itchy as well, trying to destabilize the Taliban rule in Afghanistan. We are also not so sure what's happening now in Yemen. So, and of course Israel is now trying to pick a fight with Iran. They have just done a massive military exercise in Cyprus. So a lot of things is happening around the world. So despite Ukraine war, the money earning from this coverage here seems a bit ill-gotten. But this is going to help DPA to grow, to actually cover more things all around the world, and I need you guys to support. I know most of you won't be around here already by this point of the video, but anyway, for those that continue to watch to this point, I would like to award you the loyal supporter of DPA medal. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.